Zali woke up the next morning feeling refreshed and healed. She descended the stairs and thanked the innkeeper for the hospitality. The innkeeper handed her a small pouch with 1d6 times 10 gold coins and said that his cousin, the commoner she had saved, left the pouch for her. She looked inside, and with the dice roll of 3, she counted 30 gold pieces. Zali passed through the indoors and stepped onto the dirt street of Swamp Grove. The town crier was finishing posting up the new day's job offerings on the notice board, and she headed towards it to see if anything tickled her fancy. Zali's rolls came up with a 1. Hail Adventures, 8. Guard Commission, 11. Monster Slayer. Zali tore the paper with the Monster Slayer job and went to talk to the patron. There, she found that she had to fetch an ogre eye and that the monster was located at Hex I-11. She left town and made her way towards the forest in an attempt to finish the first job. At Hex H-18, she reached the forest. She stopped and tried to scout the area, but with a roll of an 8, she failed the dex check and didn't find anything. Looking around, she spotted a beautiful unicorn with her roll of 14 on the encounter table. The beast lay in a sunlit glade, and Zali approached it carefully, but her nat 1 scared the unicorn and it fled through the forest. Her next action was to find a safe spot to set up camp, but once again, she failed with her roll of a 3. Zali ate her ration and fell asleep, only to be awakened by a band of wandering merchants passing through. But there were not only merchants going by. 3 gnolls ambushed the caravan, and Zali ran to aid the travelling salesman. The initiative was to the gnolls with their roll of 8 against Zali's 3. The first gnoll tried to hit Zali from afar but missed his attack, while the gnoll in the back let loose an arrow from his longbow, but the arrow flew over Zali's head. The last gnoll ran towards Zali and struck her in the leg, dealing 7 points of damage. This angered Zali, and with a nat 20, she struck down the gnoll that had just wounded her. The first gnoll ran up to the warrior and thrust his spear, slashing her side with a roll of 18 and inflicting 6 points of damage. Zali grunted as another arrow flew past her head as the gnoll missed with his roll of 4. The female fighter tried to focus on the gnoll standing in front of her and swung her sword at him, missing with her roll of 5. The next flurry of combat saw the first gnoll miss once again with the roll of 12, but an arrow flew into Zali's wounded leg with the gnoll's roll of 15 and dealt 2 points of damage to her. She replied with her own roll of 16, hitting the first gnoll for 2 points. The following minutes, Zali and the closest gnoll attacked and parried each other, while the gnoll in the backline fired arrows at our heroine, missing every time. But all of a sudden, the two gnolls rolled a 17 and hit Zali for a combined 6 points of damage. The human female felt the adrenaline run through her veins and rolled a 19, killing the gnoll that stood in her face. With his two comrades lying dead on the ground, the last gnoll dropped his longbow and prepared his spear. Zali and his enemies danced around each other for the next couple of minutes, avoiding or missing their attacks on the other, until Zali, fed up with the fight, rolled another nat 20, striking the monster for 8 points. Both fighters were severely wounded now, but the dance of death continued in the small forest opening, as the two combatants missed their efforts to take the other one out. With a twist of a sword hand, Zali connected with the gnoll's gut as her die rolled a 12. Steel cut through rags and flesh, and the enemy fell to the ground lifeless. The three gnolls were no more, and the travelling merchants rushed to Zali's side, offering her their wares at half price. Although the price was not announced, Zali and the merchants came to an agreement, and she bought 2 healing potions and drank them straight away, healing herself for 11 points.